Shawnee, aka Total Makeup Junkie 101, and welcome back to Tarte Week on my channel. This is a part of my holiday review series called the Holiday Review Extravaganza. I have a full holiday review extravaganza playlist, and it is the first link in the description box down below. I will also be sure to link all of the other videos that are a part of Tarte Week in the description box down below. I will be uploading 4 videos this week. This is video number 2 of 4. Today we are going to be talking about the new exciting holiday release, which is the Tarte Bling It On Amazonian Clay Blush Palette. I picked this palette up on Sephora.com for $44. I believe this is a Sephora exclusive product, so you can get it online or in stores. The palette comes in a really gorgeous box like this. I did say in yesterday's video how much I love the chevron printing on the Tarte Holiday product. So this is what the overall palette looks like. I know this palette was really highly anticipated because Tarte's previous Amazonian clay blush palettes have sold out within the blink of an eye, and they have just been hot commodities. Now I will be doing side-by-side comparisons of the previous Tarte Holiday Amazonian clay blush palettes a little later on in the video, but for now we are going to focus on the packaging of this product. While it is nice and thin, it's sleek, it's easy to travel with, it's portable, it just has a simple magnetic closure, nothing too fancy, which I do like. This glitter overlay that is on this palette is one of those glitter overlays that just sheds black glitter everywhere. Now that can get pretty annoying because I don't want black glitter all over my apartment or all over my hands as I'm using this product, but unfortunately it's not that coated glitter that I was kind of hoping it would be. So that's just something to keep in mind. The rest of the packaging I love. Like I said, I love how it has a magnetic closure. The inside of the palette, you do get a nice, pretty big mirror. And then in terms of the product, you are getting 5 almost full-sized Amazonian clay blushes. Now the first thing I want to say about this palette is that Tarte finally printed the names on the actual palette. You don't have to keep the little plastic insert. Now in terms of overall shade variety, I definitely think you are getting a pretty nice variety of shades. You are getting a pink, a couple of neutrals, kind of like a corally color, a reddish plum. A couple of them do look pretty similar, mainly these two here. Especially when you swatch them, they definitely swatch out pretty similarly, and then when you blend them and apply them on the cheeks, because you're using such a sheer amount to blend it on your face, a lot of them do end up looking pretty similar. I definitely think the shade variety isn't as good as either of the previous palettes that Tarte released. And like I said, I will be doing side-by-side comparisons of the 2 other blush palettes. Now with that being said, with my tan complexion, I can still get each and every one of these blushes to still work on my skin tone. None of them look too light. So now I'm gonna go ahead and jump into swatches of all 5 of the shades of blush that are in this palette. First off, we have Fetching, which is a medium matte mauvey rose color. Doll Face is a matte, kind of like a medium light pink. Prim is a medium true brownish neutral. Smashing is a medium, slightly corally pinky peach with a matte finish. And then Beaming is a light peachy pink with a lot of silver glitter specks in it. In terms of the texture of these blushes, they have a really nice texture. I almost feel like these are a lot softer, smoother, and more finely milled than my other Amazonian clay blushes. Those tend to swatch out a little bit more stiff. These seem to be a little bit more powdery. The more stiff texture of the Amazonian clay blushes is what generally gives it that 12-hour or more wear time. So these are not quite as stiff, meaning they probably won't wear as long. I still think the pigmentation of all of the blushes is really, really spot on. I do really love the pigmentation on each and every one of these. Each of these pans of blush holds 0.15 ounces of product. And to put that into perspective for you guys, a full-size Amazonian clay blush, which retails for $28, contains 0.2 grams of product. So each and every one of these blush pans technically contains 3/4 of the amount of product as a full-size blush. And for this entire palette, you are paying much less than even picking up 2 shades of blush individually. So in terms of product you are getting and the color variety that you are getting for the price you're paying is amazing. So now I'm gonna go ahead and do a side-by-side comparison of this Bling It On palette next to last year's palette. This was the Pinup Girl palette. So here those are side by side. This one is last year's Pinup Girl palette, and this one over here is this year's Bling It On palette. I definitely feel like last year's palette had a lot more variety. And now I'm gonna go ahead and do a comparison of the palette Tarte released 2 years ago, which was the Off the Cuff palette. Here are those two side by side. Here we have the Off the Cuff palette, and over here we have the Bling It On palette. I definitely feel like the Off the Cuff palette had, once again, more variety of colors. Each color in themselves was very different, one next to the other. And I also preferred that the Off the Cuff palette had some more brighter, bolder colors. This palette, this new one, definitely has a lot more subdued colors. There is one blush in this new palette that was repeated from the Off the Cuff palette, and that one is the Doll Face blush. I didn't find any other duplicates in this palette from the other 2 previous holiday palettes. Now, my overall thoughts on this new Bling It On palette is that it is a fantastic value kit if you guys were looking to kind of scrounge up a lot of different colors of the Amazonian clay blushes all together. So that is it. That wraps up my thoughts on the new Tarte Bling It On Amazonian clay blush palette. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure to check out my holiday review extravaganza playlist. As I said, it is the first link in the description box down below. Be sure to share that playlist with your friends or your family, and I will catch you guys tomorrow with another Tarte holiday review video. We are going to start jumping into some of the Ulta exclusive sets starting tomorrow. So come back for that. Be sure you're subscribed, and I will talk to you then. Bye! I'm gonna go ahead and do a quick side-by-side look at how it compares to the original Mega Pro palette. They have a kind of thin texture. They blend out very quickly. They fade very quickly if you don't use an eyeshadow.